Music is happiness, it's emotions, it's the heartbeat.
Whether he's opening for international superstars like Shakira and J-Lo, on the road from Beirut to Brazil, or performing live from home, DJ Rodge is using his voice for Lebanon.
They stole our life from us. Not just our money, not just our future, our life.
So the way I discovered you, I was flipping through my Instagram and I'm thinking, what is this? I've never seen anything like this. You're on your balcony one day and you just decided, I can't do this anymore. I've got to play a set.
Well, honestly, yeah, because what happened is when the pandemic started, I was just back from Dubai to Beirut, and we heard that, things are going to be really different than the usual. There's a new normal that is about to happen. So first thing I think of is, how can I spend my days doing what I do and feeling like things are okay?
Like you're connecting.
Yeah, and that's what happened. I started doing live sets and it went on and on, sometimes 6 times a week. Just to connect.
I was watching some of those. It was amazing.
It was the way, to overcome that phase and just, live the moment. And people were dancing in their homes, on their balconies. It was so good to see that happening because it's a way to overcome those days and that sadness in a special way that I can do, which is music.
There's a lot of sadness in Lebanon right now.
There's a huge sadness in Lebanon right now because we have been through a lot, especially in 2020. We have had the big explosion of August 4th. We have had a pandemic that was not treated any way near professional. We had lost our money in the banks. So literally we have a government that is doing nothing at all but fighting over power, which I don't know what kind of logic would lead to that. They've done nothing, and we're supposed to wait and live our life miserably, which is unfair.
It seems as if younger people, when they took to the streets over the economic inequalities prior to the pandemic, there was a feeling that the system is antiquated, that the world has moved on, and that younger people in Lebanon are going to the street to say, we've moved on from this. How's that influenced your art?
It affected it big time because most of my songs, so many, like more than 5-6 songs I've done, are for Beirut and for Lebanon. So the country is in my heart big time. When that happened, I did a song for Lebanon, for the revolution of Lebanon, because of one thing. I'm not against this person or that person. I'm with logic. So I played on Independence Day on the big stage for like tens of thousands of Lebanese that were holding that Lebanese flag. That flag that has no connection with anybody other than the Lebanese. We all want one thing, just one thing, life. We want our life. They stole our life from us. Not just our money, not just our future, our life. So when you go now to Lebanon, you wouldn't recognize so many parts of it because people are fighting over a bottle of milk in a supermarket. It's a cliche, but it happened. Why are these things happening? Because the management has done a very, very bad job. When you do that, the least you can do is move away and let somebody else take over, not in Lebanon.
And so you're able now, a bit post-pandemic, to travel once again. How has that changed things for you in terms of that lifestyle that you used to lead? Global, international, superstar, how's it different?
It's totally different. I mean, when you're always on the move and then all of a sudden you're stuck at home, that's very different. It's a totally different lifestyle. This is why what you do is you just keep on working every day. I stayed in the studio, doing shows, producing music all throughout those 12 months. And now that I can travel again, it's like, it's the best thing in the world because this is my engine. This is how, DJs live. We want to explore, we want to do new stuff, we want to travel the world, we want to bring happiness to the world.
Love you all, let me hear you scream! My name is Rodge and I come from Beirut, and Beirut loves Egypt.
When do you think that you'll see these venues like this one filled with people once again enjoying your music?
Once vaccines are really spread all over the world, and gradually it will happen. Like, for instance, here in Dubai, I see this happening very soon because, you can start off with a certain gradual opening of clubs, etc. And all depends on the vaccination. And this is the difference between a country like Dubai and a country like Lebanon, where we don't have yet that plan for vaccination. And I'm hoping that will be sorted out because that is the answer.
Where are some of the places that you haven't performed yet that you'd like to perform?
I'd love to do a tour in the States. It's one of my dreams, and I hope that in 2022 I can be able to do that. We're doing a world tour, Michel Fadel and I. We have an orchestra kind of production with 200 people on stage. Okay. So I'm hoping that would be the world tour that would allow me to go to such places.
It's a tough one though with social distancing.
Not for long. I mean, it will happen. We got to be positive.
How does this change music for you in terms of the business model?
You got to adapt. I mean, all businesses will adapt. This is the hardest business to adapt because it involves like a lot of people being in the same place, under the same roof. So things will come naturally because you start with the social distancing of tables and some regulations. And then again, bit by bit, you evolve more and more until this whole thing is over. And you can do vaccine-only parties, which I think is a good idea because then again, those parties can have a large crowd without worrying about even masks.
When we think about this with regards to what's happened over the last year or so, people connecting in a very, very different way than they have in the past. I found you on Instagram, for example. How has your audience changed, do you think? Do you think you've been, in a way, able to reach more people?
To be honest, yeah. You could evolve really big during such crisis because you're doing it from the heart. There's a certain connection that's different. If you want to know me not online, you would have to be in the same country, city, and even club where I am. But that way, you would connect with anybody, anywhere in the world.
It's just a different window on a person, isn't it?
Exactly. And that way also, we have to say something, it's for free. So you have access to that kind of entertainment without having to pay anything, without having to dress up, without driving there or flying there. So that is a good thing. And I'm glad not that the pandemic happened, because that is the worst thing that the earth has seen, but I'm glad that we were able to connect with each other in different ways, through music, through art, through discussions, because that's a good thing.
How many fundraisers for Lebanon do you think you've done in the last year?
A lot. I cannot count them because I'm constantly working with different NGOs. We did so many shows even online, where we saved so many kids and people with heart diseases, with cancer. We've done a lot because this is one of my main mottos in life. It's to give back and to help in any way I can. And it's very easy for any artist to do that. You just mention what you need to do and people will react. And that way you will be saving lives and helping people without the extra effort that you think you need to do. It's just a simple thing. So I ask every single artist, celebrity, I'm just a small thing. There are massive artists out there. If each gives something, the world will be in a better place.
What would you like to see from the international community, do you think? I mean, your audience isn't just a Lebanese audience. I mean, you've basically taken your music all over the world.
I would hope that there is a way where we could be assisted in finding a solution, but that in Lebanon also is translated into being with this or that. You know, Lebanon is split and its politics is split. So if you say international community, it means you're with the enemy. And if you say this, you're with the other enemy. It's always like a ridiculous game. But the big picture is that we need help. We need some kind of wise decisions and plans because the country, everybody says, is gonna go to worse and worse with the upcoming weeks. So we're running out of time.
Do you think that the revolution itself is over as a result of the pandemic, or do you think people will come out in protest again?
You know, the sad thing about Lebanon is there's a solution for politicians to every scenario, which means the revolution kind of lost hope somewhere along the line, and everybody waits for everybody to go down on the street. Why don't you go down on the street? Why don't you do this? While everybody's staying at home, devastated, because they kind of lost hope. Those parties that rule the country are enemies somehow, but believe it or not, they're also best friends. Can you imagine that?
I've seen it.
Yeah. So when they're sitting all together and considering Lebanon as a cake, they split it with a big smile under the umbrella of my party and my religion and this and that, while eventually it's just benefits, personal benefits, and agendas of other countries. So what happens is when the people want to ask for change, they agree all together in a way or the other to stop that. So they devastate you, they sometimes beat you, they sometimes throw fire rockets at you. They do stuff to stop that. All those big leaders in our country are fighting over power, and if you ask one of them, tell me what you have done for your country. One question, one answer, nobody can tell you a thing. What's your achievement? What did you achieve?
Well,
in
that
5
makes you
years, in
angry.
10 years?
That makes you angry.
Very angry. Because, you know, most Lebanese are trying to find a way to leave Lebanon, which is sad. I don't want to leave Lebanon. Nobody wants to leave Lebanon. It's a beautiful piece of land and culture and history and people. But how can you survive the next phase while your currency has lost between 8 and 10 times its worth, and you can't access your money at the bank?
Obviously, growing up in a place like Lebanon, a confluence of cultures, 1,000 years of history or more, what are some of the things that have inspired you?
What inspired me is the difficulty in life, because that's how I live my life. I'm a child of war. I was born during the war, and it ended in 1990 on October 13. And then there was another war in 2006, and there were a lot of ups and downs in Lebanon. It's like our life is dramatic, and music was the escape. Lebanon was built in a way that you cannot decode. It's like everybody needs to agree with everybody on everything, and they're kind of enemies and they follow other countries. So each party is doing its own agenda for another country, and nothing is done for the country. So that element brings sadness to the people, but at the same time, it brought us a way of not accepting, wanting to live. This is why you know about the Lebanese, that they love life, nightlife, art, history, everything that's positive in life. They've been through a lot, and having lived throughout all these decades, for a person like me, music is my escape.
What is the message in the music? When you're performing and you have an audience, whether it be virtually or in person, what is the message that you are trying to send?
I love that question. That's my word. Music is happiness. It's emotions. It's the heartbeat. It's everything that is positive in life. Because music translates life. It is hope. It is motivation. It is sensuality. And that's what music is for me. I love my job. I've always done it. Music is the best thing that could happen to life.